What is going on, guys? And today we are back in Baldy's mix. Baldy's streaming. I gotta pull up his stream here in a second. But right now we're playing standard mix. This is one of my favorite mixes by far. It's just fun to play. I know people have kind of like their own mixes, but I think this is my favorite of the mixes currently on Phenom to play. Baducey deuce to 7, stud 8 or better, Drawmaha deuce to 7, PLO, Badacey Ace-5, limit 08, deuce to 7, triple draw, ace to 5, Razz, big O capped, and Badugi. Did I skip PLO capped? Am I just like totally out of it right now? Somehow I got sat out. Let me sit back in. All right. Let's, I think we're going to play the stud around next hand. It's going to go stud 8 or better next. We'll try to get at least one full rotation in, starting with 8 or better. But as always, if you guys like what you see, please like and subscribe. Questions or comments, put them below. If you want to record up to 1 hour playing on Phenom, you can send it to me and I will do some commentary on it, and or you can do some commentary with me. Also, if you guys are looking to open a Phenom account, there is a link below. Please click on that. Or when you sign up, use code LMG. Helps me, helps the channel out. Keeps me motivated and keeps me making the videos too. So, see, the last video I did, the token price was 55 cents. It's up to 65 cents now. A lot of play going nowadays. A lot of PLO 5 seems to be going, like 510 PLO 5. But all right, let's start off. Stud 8 or better. 5, 4, 3, 2. Ace is the best low. There are 2 pots. There will always be a high pot, meaning if you have the high, if there is no low, you will scoop. And if there is a low, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is the best low, but you will need 5 cards, 8 or under unpaired. Moxie and Josh going at it. 2 of the regulars on this channel. Oh, interesting. Josh had Barry aces there against Moxie, but Moxie's board ran out pretty bad, so not much raising going on. This game, the middling cards, well, even the high cards for the most part are pretty well, I would say, like overrated. Big pairs are still okay in some way, but you know, these like 9-10 jacks were in stud high, they're somewhat playable because you can make 2 pair, they're connected, especially if you have something like a 2 suit. Guess I gotta pull up Baldy's mix over here in a second. 1 second, let me go find it. All right, sorry about that. Wanted to make sure that I got everything going over here. See Twitch. All right, if anyone wants me to start my own Twitch channel too, let me know in the comments. Be interesting to hear the feedback on that one. Basebaldy's mixes. All right, Queen 10. We're gonna fold this one here. I'm gonna turn this one down, I think, because we've had some reverberating issues in the past, so I don't want that to happen again in the future here. But let's see if I can find Baldy over here. Turn up a little bit. There we go. We hear him. Try to continue to hear him. I do like to hear his commentary in the background too. The problem is sometimes the audio gets a little bit it gets a little bit the audio gets a little bit it sounds like I'm listening to someone read some ancient text of some kind, so just want to make sure that I'm doing the right thing. Hold on 1 second. Let's see here. Twitch. There we go. We'll do that one. Okay. Change the window a little bit. Make sure it's good to go. So we're not missing too much action on the other side though right now. We'll make a screen bigger. That way you can just see the screen. There we go. All right. And we'll close this out and go back to the game. The great game. Actually, I probably even change this. Playing much better as of late. She was playing very tight before, but she has definitely been opening up her game and playing a lot of good combos as of late. Josh and Moxie are playing every hand. What else is new? I'm sure when Moxie hears that, he'll take a laugh. Turn him down just a little bit. Yeah, let me know if anyone in the comments would like to watch a Twitch channel of mine. I have some ideas. I have some ideas brewing. All right, here. Lima against Josh. This board obviously is just pretty gross against low card, high card, mid card, rainbow. So he's gonna let that one go. Not surprising. Deuce to 7, Drawmaha. Deuce to 7, Drawmaha. 7-5-4-3-2 is the best low hand in your hand. Very similarly to... This is kind of an interesting one if blue folds. I think I'm going to raise into Baldy here. 7-5-4-3-2 is the best low hand. This is basically the same kind of structure as single draw limit. And then the best high hand is going to get half the pot. So there's always 2 pots. There's no qualifying low. Meaning that the best low, the worst hand that you can possibly make in your hand right here is going to get half the pot. And then the best high hand on the board is going to get half the pot. I think I've said this before in the past. It's a little bit, I feel like counterintuitive because like you're trying to make the worst hand here, but you're trying to make the best high hand here. Like Drawmaha high makes some sense to me just because you're trying to make the best high hand in your hand and you're trying to make the best high hand on the board. But this is just, to me, feels so weird. The jack draw here is, against Josh here, I still think like, and I still got 2 players behind me. It's probably close to a play against Josh just because he limped here. He could be trapping here. I guess there's something that sometimes that does happen. But also, my draw is actually like quite bad. Well, now it'd be quite good. I have Jackson 5, so an open-end straight draw. Possible draw to flush as well if I break the ace. But I think the parlay is just not great. Now, if Josh like draws 2 here, then I did miss an opportunity, I think. But also too, like if your opponent here is limping, like sometimes it could be a trap. I just don't think it is too much. I think Josh just limps too much. But I think the Jack-6 draw is a little bit rough. Like if it was a 10-6 draw, it'd be a very, very, very easy race. If it was like a double-suited Jack draw. But I think it's a little bit rough too. If I get called behind too, like I don't really love the fact I'm drawing at a Jack, even though I'm in position and it is somewhat of a smoother Jack. Let's see. I think Baldy drew 2. And I think Josh drew 1, but he did draw 1, it looked like, at the 9-8-7. Go back and look, but I'm pretty sure he took 1. Interesting one here. Probably going to open this one if folded to the double-suited Jack draw. I have the option of taking 2 as well. Plus, the King 2, is also something depending on the flop texture we could theoretically beat. Yeah, Josh did take 1, so my guess is he was drawing at the 9. But I think this double-suited combo, plus I'm drawing at Jack-6. It's not like I'm drawing at like Jack-10-9-3. That would be a little bit different because then I lose equity on the whatchamacallit? I can't even think of it right now. The three-way? Okay. I lose some equity on the well, it goes bet and raise in front of me now. I'm just going to let this one go. This is kind of a strange line, to be completely honest, because like normally what happens in this situation is like when I raise and it's called, it's like almost never, ever, ever. It's such a small fraction of time it's going to go bet raise in front of me. Usually it's going to go check, check to me, and then I make a decision. Sometimes the big blind leads out, but usually you don't see this line. My guess is Lima probably has something like a queen low and 2 pair. And this runout's kind of bad for him, but if like Moxie has a pair in his hand, that would make some sense. Yeah, Moxie does have a pair. He does have queens up. This hand makes some sense, I think, too. Moxie raising with 7s and deuce also makes some sense. Drawmaha deuce to 7. What's next? PLO capped. Fun game. I like the cap games. They're fun. Definitely seems like it's probably more beneficial for Baldy just because he's probably so familiar with these stacks. Now Big O, and I'm sure he's familiar with at least the concepts of PLO, but obviously like when the no limit cap is in the game, he's got to be extremely proficient at 40 bigs. Did take 2 here. This is kind of interesting. So he must have had the ace-high flush draw on jack. The problem is again, he's kind of like, even if he makes an ace low at this point, his hand's kind of a semi-bluff, and I mean, I guess he kind of got in there relatively cheap, but pre-flop I probably would have just folded his hand. But yeah, I mean, like, he still has low equity. Like, this hand actually here against 2, you know, if they both make pairs, he's going to scoop. Or not scoop, but he will win. So, and then Josh bets. And then he's got a king. He's got like a triple gut shot or something like that. Or, yeah, like his hand just becomes a check call here on the river too with kings and jacks. If he loses to 10-9, so be it. If he loses somehow to ace-10, so be it. All right, 2, 3, 5, 7 here. Again, the queen is a card that we're most not likely going to keep, but there are some boards where, like, if we have queen high flush draws, if our opponent takes 2, or if we make like trips or something like that, then we would consider keeping it. But in general, like this board, obviously we have a wheel draw. Unfortunately, like the 6 and the 4, the 6 and the 4 for us are obviously not great because they do make our hand. The 3's okay. I have to 3-bet here. Like, this against these combinations here, like, I get it if Moxie's like Pat and has like some sort of like random 10, but with this draw and the fact that I have the nuts right now, like, so be it. Kind of interesting, honestly. I have 1 pair and I make a 10-7. I'm still betting if I get raced. Again, like, so be it. And then when he just calls, I really like my hand. He does have a 9. Oh, he's a 2 pair. Sorry, he has 2 pair. And I guess I get 3/4. I think that's what happened, but he does have 5-7. I don't think he's got a full house. I think again I mean, he's got the nuts on the flop, but again, like a lot of times he's either a dog drawing or he's either a dog to the draw. Let's see if I can pull this one up here. Give me a second. 1 second. All right, PLO capped. I think the 9 draw, even with the 5-7 there, is probably not necessarily a cap against my 3-bet. It's probably close with Josh in the middle, to be completely honest. But let's see if I can find this one. Against the 5x, we're going to fold this one. Again, this game is a little bit different just because the structure on Phenom. Twitch. Which one is this one? Shoot for this one? Yeah, okay, we've got it. Let's go that one. PLO capped at 9-5-4 See, we're going to fold, even though it's double suited. It's just probably the structure's a little bit off. So as we can see right here on, he had the 9-5-4-7. So he did flop the nut straight, most likely with the, well, he didn't have 2 flush draws, but at least he probably had 1 draw. I think his hand, again, is like somewhat close to, like, also if I had a hand like deuce 6-4-7, it's probably, again, like it's one of those spots where it's kind of close because, like, I know that I'm blocking my own pairs and want to jam this spot more often than not. Plus I have like a gut shot. So I think Moxie's raise is probably close. Again, I think it's okay with Josh in the middle there, but if, like, say if I had bet flop, he raised, I 3-bet, I don't think that he should necessarily 4-bet this combination, to be completely honest. But that's just my opinion. If anyone else has a different opinion, I'd love to hear it. But we're back in the PLO cap streets. Yeah, he must have limped and it must have checked. Baldy with the 2, 3, 4, 5. Because that is a hand that really can't stand too much heat. Queen 10-9 deuce, the triple suit. Folding? Yeah, he's talking about the fact that Phenom's also opened up Phenom has also opened up the 6-card PLO, and it is starting to become pretty popular too. and also saying that they are expected to have. I think this bet sizing is a little bit too big. Probably if Blue wants to downsize a little bit on this like 4-4 queen board, she probably could bet like a third. Be totally fine. But yeah, Phenom is supposedly on track right now to get the tournaments going next month. So this is definitely a time where you can consider getting an account. I'm not going to talk too much on the price of the Phenom token because like the price in my mind is just like kind of is what it is. I actually just made a video and I put it out talking about like what the Phenom token is and what it does, your rights to the revenue share, your rights to voting rights in the future. So if you haven't seen that, I would definitely check it out because it is how you get your rake back. Every week back, you get your rake in the Phenom token. And then if you want to at any point, you can just transfer it right back over to USDT, and there's not an issue with that. But again, if you're going to play on Phenom, it's probably a good sense of how it works and what you want to do. We are going to call this hand if given the chance. Baldy did the 2, 3, 4, 5. I just wanted to see what it does. My guess is he just limped here. Probably totally fine. And then we're calling here with Jack, Jack, 9, 6. And we flop the under pair. Sorry, I had to talk to my wife for a second. Yeah, he's talking about the deuce 3, 4, 5 over here. He's got like a pure bluff catcher now. Pretty bad run out for his hand too. Jack 4, 9, 7. Rough hand. See if I can get the no. I was looking for the subtitles, but I can't find them. Oh, I do want to see. Oh, he's got the kings on it, but I do want to see that hand that Baldy just played where I folded the 2 jacks, but I'm just curious. Hand's probably a little bit too rough on mine, but I mean, this is an easy call here for with the king, queen, 8. Yeah, it's good. Like, this hand doesn't do well on the Now I will say, like, again, blue tended to be tight. I still might call here once with the king, queen. You're blocking some things, but that's just me. He does make kind of a tightish fold, I would say. All right, Badacey 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is the best slow. 4, 3, 2 ace rainbow is the best Badugi. This is a no qualifying split pot game. I am going to break the 5, 3, 4. I'm going to break the 8 Badugi and draw 2 here. We do slightly improve to the 7, plus we catch an extra pair. But I think the 3, 4, 5 is kind of like close to the same thing of what the 8 Badugi is at the start. So we have showdown value with the 3 card 5, and I think keeping the 8 is a little bit too rough at the start. And we improve to 7, 7, but we fold again in this game. Straights are fine. This is the worst 7. I call this the I call that the perfectly rough 8. Or the perfectly rough 7. Oh, he did have aces that hand. He flopped 3 queens. Oh man, he just had it all in this hand. He had me beat with the overpair. He had me beat with the trips. It's kind of interesting. Actually, it's really interesting flop texture 4-way because, yeah, I mean, he's just going to usually just win all the money. But there are times when, you know, if he gets any sort of action, I don't know if he really wants to get any action here because he's blocking aces and he has a queen in his hand. He's just kind of like hoping to get, he's hoping to get called by a, basically a worse queen. It's kind of like what it seems like. That's it.
With a solve.
currently a little bit slow. We have seen Lima limp a fair bit as of late. I think Lima's just like starting to learn some of the limit games. Haven't really played too much big bet with him at this point. Play a little big O with him. Playing a fair bit of hands. So again, just a note. And then Baldy over here has ace 8-8-3 against a raise and a call, against a min raise and a call. Again, I'm not really in love with the opening size of min raising. Like I think it just should be limp or maybe 2.5x is okay. But I also think too, if you're gonna min raise, like you definitely should be proficient. Because your opponent's gonna play back at you a decent bit. Like your opponent should be doing a lot of calling. Moxie there scoops with a 3-card number 2 low. Mock. All right, what's next? We got one more game. We got another one. Oh, Lemon Omaha. Again, I've said this. This is just such a fun mix. Like, this whole like middling portion, Baducey all the way to triple draw. I just really like to play all these games. It's really fun for me. 5-6 on the button, I think, is a little bit too rough. Too high in the cards that I want. I was hoping that was Badugi. It is not, but this is still open. Obviously, the structure of this hand, given the fact that it is rainbow versus something like double suited, this is the worst equity holding of this combination, but it's still enough with an ace deuce in my hand to open. If you start like getting in 9-handed games, this hand is probably actually close to fold. Now, the counter argument to that is if you're playing a 9-handed game that's going off 5 ways every flop anyways, then it kind of doesn't matter. Board texture that I think tends to still slightly favor the cutoff opener's range versus the cold caller's range. And then at this point, I kind of think we just use like, what is your exact type of hand? Such a pretty hand in PLO, but this hand is not as well suited to Omaha 8 or better, especially in a 6-handed game where there's kind of like raising and raising. Again, if you're playing in a 9-handed game and it's just going off like 5 ways every single flop, you can probably just get away with like calling. That's more of an exploit than anything. But if you're just gonna have multiple players in there in a 9-handed game, this hand becomes very playable.
Hide this guy. Ding. Slowly. You busy stuff. Nose.
Yeah, subscribe. He wants me to charge. He's charging? I didn't know he was charging now. Not even sure how that works. But this is just a problem. Like here we make the jack high flush and we don't even have the we're always just going to lose half the pot. Or not always lose half the pot, but a large amount of time. And that's where you lose equity with those hands is because you're giving up half the pot almost instantaneously if there's a low out there. So let's see. Theoretically, I think there's a low 40% of the time, and here against a raise and a call. I think this range is actually a little bit stronger than like most cold calling ranges are. But still here at the big blind, we're getting good price. We do flop a gut shots at the wheel. We can play this one a little bit funky too, because we have like the deuce of spades with flush draw. Like this is a really, really good combination here to just go ahead and bet. I would bet flushes here if this checks through 100%. I would bet lows here too. And now like the fact that the pot's a little bit smaller because Baldy checked this board, like if he's got aces up, his reverse implied odds here are not great. I don't like that because he's representing a flush. He's representing nut low too sometimes here when he does that. And I really don't have a ton of equity versus nut low, but can't fold with 2 deuces and the second nut low in my hand. He does have the nut flush. Kind of an interesting check back, but I think it's totally fine given his combination. Again, this hand is just a fold pre-flop. Again, like I think like when people are learning the games, they're just so used to playing like Omaha high that those high hands just look so inviting. Josh posts here. My hand is just really bad. There is a bunch of dead money here, but I think Baldy here could really raise like a pretty, he should be raising pretty wide in the big blind. He might not know to do that yet, but definitely something he can consider. Baldy's got the commercials on. I don't know if that happens when you have some sort of subscription. But like this, oh man, yeah. Like this hand here with Baldy, ace jack, 10-4 checking the big blind is pretty big mistake. Like this is just, it's printing money against a post. Now theoretically, like if you post, you should definitely have some traps, but I don't think most players do that. I think they're just like, oh, I want to raise and just try to get my money back. But I've definitely seen in the past, like you're supposed to have some back raises. But yeah, the ace check 10-4 there. Even if it was rainbow, it's just a clear raise against a post. A wheel and a full house. That is a good hand. Takes my hand to shame when I flop the 6 high straight. Trips are like, there's no combination of trips in Lemon Omaha 8 except some sort of aces, but they're not all playable. I did not see if Josh limped or raised. Oh yeah, Baldy had a nice hand over here too. The ace 4 5 10 on the gun. Super strong. Again, where you might see like a hand where like ace deuce, you might think in general like a hand like this ace deuce 7-8 over here, like when I was playing earlier, this ace deuce 7-8 might still be better because I have ace deuce. This hand has so much more equity than my hand. And I actually, like he gets a flop here where I think like checking is probably just fine, given the fact that it's like multi-way. But that's also one of the reasons why like I love betting my hand on the turn. And Josh looks like he probably won the deuce 5 7-8. All right, deuce to 7, triple draw, 7 5 4 3 2 is the best hand. The worst hand is going to win. 7 high is the worst hand in this game. But yeah, since he and he's even talking about it here, since he checked this flop over here, the pot's relatively small and the spade hits. Now it just becomes an easy fold. And I think like checking here aces up is like okay. He also should be doing it with some traps though. Like if he's got like ace, deuce 3 with some sort of spade draw, or even just ace deuce 3 in general, he could probably just consider like checking. But yeah, like usually that's kind of what it is when you're in an Omaha game. If someone raises an early position ace flops and it's multi-way, like a lot of times if they decide to check, it's just like kind of a meh aces up. But I wanted to see what he said over here about the ace check 10-4. He didn't really say much. He just checked it. Now we'll go back to our game. And kind of as played, I actually think he should probably bet aces up on this river. Like, I mean, what's going to beat him at this point realistically is like king, and that's it. All right, triple draw for the most part. Always looking for those deuces. Those deuces are kind of like your bedrock in the hand when you're making hands. There are some certain cases where there's like playable hands that I would say that don't include deuces, but the majority of them are going to include deuce. Whoa. Oh, I want to see the action on this one. I feel like a 10 bet pot there with 10 bet pot there with a 7 might be a little bit low, but we'll check this one out. All right, 2-7-6 under the gun is should be totally fine here, especially in this game, especially with a 7 blocker. Take 2. So we do have a 7 blocker, so just again one of those things where you notice it. Yeah, so again, like looks like Josh raised under the gun that hand, and then Baldy cold called the ace king 8 deuce. Like that should just be a slam dunk 3-bet against almost anyone. We do improve to a 1-card 8 draw, and we're gonna check here and just kind of see what happens. And like at the 2-2-2 spot, we shouldn't just be leading here 100%. I see a lot of people, if they just like improve to a 1-card draw, are leading out of position. And I think in this spot you could like theoretically check your entire range, and it probably wouldn't matter too much on the EV side. Like maybe you're losing a little bit, obviously, if you have the this such a weird hand. that me and Lima both take 1. We're going to bet when we make an 8 and Moxie takes 2 in position. And now we just pat. And the only question here is like, do we consider, like, since we didn't bet, it's kind of interesting. I think we're gonna check to Lima. And Lima had an 86, so he pretty underplayed this hand, I would say. And I knew that Moxie was probably drawing to beat us, so it's kind of like one of these weird spots where, like, Lima's probably undervaluing his hand a little bit. Oh, wow, he was dealt pat number 4. And then Josh takes 2. Be interesting to see how this one goes. And Josh just leads into Baldy, who's pat, and he raises him. I want to see how this one goes. It'll be interesting. But we do have a playable hand over here, so depending, it gets. Oh, looks like he got. Oh, I see what he did. Okay. He waited and got 3-bet. Yeah, this seems okay. He delayed 1 street for the raise and then got 3-bet. Get off our flush draw here with the deuce 7. Does take 1. I think we're going to call again. And he does take 1 again, and we are going to check. And in this spot, I think we're just going to fold. The pot's like relatively small. And then, yeah, just Baldy just faces all this action. Not much to do. I think what ended up happening is, like, Josh led in a 2-0 spot, which is just, it should not be a thing. Here we got a really strong 8 draw here with an extra. This is just crazy. Like, this action shouldn't even exist. This hand probably doesn't have a deuce. This hand probably doesn't have a deuce. This hand should have a deuce. This hand probably has a deuce. But if, like, Moxie's not drawing 1 here, then this is a pretty big. This is like a pretty big, I would say, mistake on the cap. My guess is Moxie does have a 1-card draw. He draws 2. Yeah, it's a pretty big error on his part. Like, my hand is almost always a 1-card draw. No, just a little bit. Like, this is just a drastic overplay on Moxie's part. But again, like, he does this a lot. He's just trying to, like, kind of isolate it. And then we make this 9-8. Like, we talked about this spot with Chris a lot. And, you know, when it goes like bet call, I think, like, just calling and breaking my 9 out of position here is fine. And he does pat, because I wouldn't want to draw dead in this spot. And then, like, now I actually think, like, against Moxie here, I'm, like, drawing dead. Like, I've seen an extra 9, so it's very unlikely he doesn't have a 9. We've already known that he's, like, just totally overplayed this spot. So, like, I might have been just easily dead in that situation. So, like, I'm just gonna let this one go. But again, like, when you have a 2-card draw and improve to a 1-card draw against, like, that hand, you're just way overplaying it. Again, against Josh with a 1-card 8 draw here, this is a little bit thin, but I think I'm still gonna 3-bet him. And we notice that we throw a 10 away, make it 7-5 right away. This is like number, it's in the mid-teens somewhere. I used to know this off the top of my head. Stand pat. Now, Josh sometimes does some leading when he just makes his hand and he just folds. Because the other problem too is like when you have it I'm going back to Moxie hand because, like, maybe I'm just, like, tilt ranting here a little bit. But, you know, when it goes limp, raise, call, raise, call, like, a lot of your cards are just blocked from what you need to actually make a good hand. So, yeah, like, the other thing too is like you're turning your draw face up. Like, I know you have a wheel draw with a deuce in it, you know? And usually in that situation, you're just not going to turn that type of draw into a bluff, especially when I bet the first draw and you raise and then you draw 1 again. Like, you're just turning your hand over face up, and you don't want to do that. You want to be able to get paid on later streets if you make a big hand. And against most players there, I would just snap call a 9 on the river. But again, like, as played, it just, Yeah, it just seems like we can like realistically never win given how that hand played out. All right, 2, 3, 5. 2 of the aces are dead, which hurts us a little bit, but I mean we're never not opening 3 to a wheel. Baldy 2 bets. And if yeah, I mean this is kind of a spot where I think we want to just underplay a little bit, and the reason why is there's 2 aces dead. And I also want to have like some wheel draws in my cold calling range. Baldy catches pretty good. I have eights in my hand, so it's not really likely he paired the deuce. But Lima should not raise here, which means we're going to see 5th Street. See 5th. And it's still kind of close, I think, against Baldy because I'm drawing at 10-5. And Lima probably has to... interesting. Lima's saying he has the best draw. I wonder if Baldy paired. I mean, that's all he's kind of saying here when he doesn't bet. Like, he could theoretically check raise, but this check raise should like, he should never get this check raise in. So it doesn't really make much sense. Now we have a 6 draw, plus he pairs my other ace. I really wanted to see that one. So now Lima's representing a 9. And we do pair 5s on the river. So yeah, he checks, which is totally fine. He had ace 4 deuce most likely. And then we would definitely I'm not sure if I'd probably go for a check raise in that spot, to be completely honest. 2 card wheel here, but I got a lot of low cards behind me, so I'm just going to fold this one. Yeah, but when Baldy checks ace deuce 10 on that board, it's just so likely he has a pair. Because it's a board in which he should realistically never be checking. Excuse me. Reading some of the chat in Twitch. I'm just trying to see who that they're talking about. Jeez.
So this is
not gonna steal this one. I think Baldy and Lima are oh, I thought it was Phenom. I thought Joshua was there. I would consider actually stealing here, but I think it's just probably a little loose. But against blue is open. Just gonna fold. Oh, so he did pair the deuce. Interesting. He started ace deuce 6. So 2, 3. Interesting. Like, it definitely interesting hand. 2, 3, 5, ace deuce 6, and most likely ace deuce 4. So kind of a crazy run out there, actually. 3 with the buried 4s. I'm gonna fold.
wow. Certain words. So there was a bit open. The door is so. The lemons that sit big berries if it is mute. Just like this day.
All right, 5, 6, 7 here. We're gonna open the 3 card 7. Sorry, again, I was answering something. Yeah, Baldy makes aces up. Just kind of a rough hand for him. Josh calls with the 9, 9, 4, 8, 5. Definitely leading with the 8 still. Leading with the 6. He's got a fold a fair bit, I think, here, but he likes to get sticky. I have 2 6s. It's very unlikely he paired that one, so we're going to check this one. And then we're going to bet the 8, because it looks like he doesn't have the 9 here very often when he checks back, too, so. All right, Big O capped. High-low game, just like Omaha High-low, except you get 5 cards. And we're playing pot limit with a, what is it, $120 cap. $120 USDT on Polygon cap. Remember, if you're going to deposit into Phenom, you need to deposit on Polygon. You can send USDT on the Ethereum network, but you need to click other coins, and I believe there's a 2% fee. It is free on the Polygon network. To do that, you need to go over and get you need to do it in what's it called? A bridge. You need to go to a bridge and convert the USDT from, oh, it looks like he's playing, oh, he's just watching a game. I thought he was playing 2 games. Which one? Interesting. Oh, he changed the back. Be interesting if he jumped into the other game, it looked like. Big O. A lot of PLO5, fair bit of PLO6, Big O, standard mix. Yep. Definitely picking up. Oh, the hand history is open over here. Be nice hand to have with the tracks full. Be slightly concerned with Blue's bet, though. Because she's basically repping 8-10, 10-10, or 8-8. Again, very similar structures of your hand that you want in this game. This game, I believe an ace is like even more important, and the reason being the ace is even more important in Big O is just because it's just more likely your opponents have it. So, you know, even times when you the hand strengths are just going to be even like more structured to wanting an ace in your hand. You're going to be so likely to run into it. Very, very strong hand here. Ace, 3, 4, 5. This is just a hand that basically you're going to play for all of it, or you're going to raise pot, especially out of position here. Like in position here, you can make small raises even with hands like this, and it doesn't matter either way. But we don't obviously mind too if like it just goes off a lot of different ways. But OOP, we're just going to put as much money in and lower the SPR as we possibly can. And on this board, again, it's not necessarily the best, and we don't block any clubs. But with the SPR being less than 2, I just don't see us not getting it in here. Like, I don't think we're ever check folding ace, 3, 4, 5. Plus 2, like, if he has a mediocre ace deuce hand, I mean, he's got to fold because, like, yeah, I mean, if he has like a mediocre ace deuce hand, he's got to fold because, like, again, you're just like likely to run into something like an ace deuce or like a combo draw or like a combo low draw with a flush draw. There's just so many different things that can happen in that spot. But again, like, this is a little bit different here. We do have the ace deuce 9, 7, 5, and we're playing this hand even against the 5x open from blue. Again, like, blue tends to be on, I would say, a little bit of a tighter side, but this hand is still too strong in position. If we put $15 into this pot, we expect to get more than $15 back even at this point. And a pretty strong flop for us. Honestly, this is probably a really good hand to bluff with. We have a wrap plus a flush draw plus ace deuce. So, like, even if we run into an 8, if the only hand we're realistically worried about here is like 8-6, and yeah, like, this is just a really good hand to like basically bet like half and probably get in. And now the only thing on this turn against like blue specific hand, specific range, and I have to call this one off, is like I have no pair at this point. I just have a really big draw. So if I get in against another ace deuce, I can be a quarter, but I can't fold. And we missed we do have the only ace deuce, but we do miss the draw. So I will take the chop. Get dealt a very good Badeucey hand. Against Josh's limp, I'm going to over limp here with the deuce 4, 5, 6, 7. This is a little bit rough, but again, I don't know if all the other players are going to correctly put me in a tougher spot. So I'm going to go ahead and call. Like, if I was playing against a lot of tough Big O players, I think I would just fold this hand because I would expect to get potted at a fair clip. we get a board that looks good for us because basically there's like an ace out there and then, you know, 2 other low cards, but we don't have the nut low draw unless a 3 comes. We don't have any straight draws. We don't really have anything else. So this is just a hand I would say it can kind of be turned into a semi bluff. Like I'll probably just bet half, just hoping to take it here like once. And if anyone plays back at me or if I get called, I'm probably just folding. The only thing I could theoretically do, I guess, is like if a 9 comes on the turn, then like bet small again. Yeah, but once we get played back at, we just have nothing really else to do and just fold. Because like even though we have a low draw, like nothing's nutted in this spot. Oh, interesting this hand over here because obviously like Baldy, oh, he doesn't even show that one. But Baldy folded like deuce, deuce, 4, and he had clubs. Badugi, we do have a king Badugi under the gun now. 4, 3, 2, 1 is the best low, but this is just still too rough. But yeah, Baldy, it doesn't show his hand, but Baldy folded. Oh, it does show his hand. Sorry, he folded 2 deuces and 2 clubs. So obviously, I like my combo. Plus, he had an 8 and a 6, so it's just so unlikely that my opponent there had really any equity at all. But it's 5-card Big O, so probably he still had 30%, even though no matter what cards he folded. Yeah, Badugi, so Blue must have opened and Baldy must have called. This is too loose. This is the only way I can see this like hand happening. Because I'm pretty sure everyone was dealt in. No one's got a big blind miss button here, I think. I could be wrong, but I'll go back. But if that is what happened, now I'm gonna have to go back and see that one. Up here. Yeah, it must have been that way just because everyone got dealt in. So definitely too loose of a call in position here. He, you know, not even with an ace in his hand too. And again, like Blue's range should be stronger than most. Like she's not. I don't think Blue's opening like 3-card 7s under the gun unless she just randomly did that. She did have a 3-card 6. So, you know, I mean, my Baldy's a pretty big dog in that situation, drawing 2 against that range, even with position. I think like the only argument is can he make up what the passivity of a tight player might do in that situation. And Baldy, I think, correctly checks back like 3-card 5 in position there on river. I know he wants to go for value, but 3-card 5 seems a little bit too loose, I think. Like sometimes Blue just has him pipped anyways. I don't even know if Blue's betting like 1, 2, 3. Blue, if you're watching this and you do have 1, 2, 3, you probably should be betting 1, 2, 3. But checking a 3-card 6 is correct and totally fine. Interesting. Moxie overcalled with a 3-card 6. Did I see that right? I gotta go back and see this one. This one's interesting. So Baldy raises. Here, I'm gonna see if I can find this one. Yeah, so Baldy raises, Moxie 3-bets, Josh calls, Baldy calls. Goes 1, 1, 1. Go back here in a second. Hold on. 1-card deuce. We're gonna fold that one. Go back to this one in a second. Let's see here. Moxie bets, Josh calls, Baldy calls. Oh wait, I got the wrong one on Baldy. Sorry, we got too much stuff going on here. Trying to review hands. Against the limp of Lima's, we're gonna call and draw 2 at the deuce 6. He did not raise. 3-card 5. He did take 1 under the gun. I'm still just gonna go ahead and check here. And if he checks again, if he checks here in this position here, I think I'm gonna go ahead and lead on the second draw. If he does bet, I'm gonna call at least once. Or call at least once. Pots again, not relatively that big. So if he does stand pat here on the next draw, I'm probably just going to check fold this one. Because I lose some of my showdown value, and at this point, pretty significant dog. He does take one, and we improve to a 3-card 5. So I'm going to go ahead and bet now. Draw 1. And we do make a king. So I'm going to go ahead and bet this one and hope to get called by a worse 3-card or a better 3-card. That, just in case he did have it. If given the chance, we'll raise this one on the button here, but we'll see in a minute. But, yeah, so it went 1-1-1, Moxie bet. Baldy checked around. Interesting. So checked around. I'm going to raise this one now. All right, we're going to go back here. We're going to play the A6. Couple club blockers. I guess we can finish this one really quick. No, I 3-bets, so we're not going to finish this one. We're just going to call. So he takes 1, take 2 to make the ace and 4. So we've seen 3 clubs, an extra 6 of diamonds, and an extra ace. Calling this one. And we're going to take 2 again. And we make the a Badugi, which is really nice and really sneaky. Plus, we've seen a bunch extra clubs, so the strength of our hand actually goes up in value now because it's the combinations of him making a better Badugi are now lower. Now, the thing here is if I get 3-bet, it's close to a 4-bet. It probably is a 4-bet, specifically given my blockers too. I don't think he's going to like tank race me here with a 6. I mean, it's possible, but an 84 here is really strong, given like I've seen an extra ace, I've seen like a lot of low clubs. So again, it blocks his ability to make a really strong hand. And then like in this situation here, he probably should check his entire range and then like check raise if he makes a good one. He does. I mean, I'm just gonna call, I guess, with the 8-4, and I pip him. Like again, against his check raise range there, I think like it's probably fine to check raise any 8. And if he's check raising any 8, it's really close. Again, given my blockers too. 3-card 4 here, we're gonna 3-bet. So it's kind of like one of those spots, like maybe I would run the math against Chris, like run that hand in a Badugi review with Chris. Josh takes 2 out of the gun. Make a 7. Pretty nutty. Sometimes Josh does lead here, just like that. Kind of preemptively called that one. This is a little bit different here. If we get like check, he takes 2 again. What is going on here? This is don't play your Badugi hands like this one. This one's a little bit too loose from Josh, and then he folds. What do we play next? Queen, jack 10. All right, we're gonna fold this one. I'm gonna go back over to this one here. Again, it went 1-1-1 in the last draw. Sorry if you're still following this. 1-1 on the last draw, and it checked around the previous one. And then what ends up happening, it looks like, is one draw. Oh, he did bet. There's 1 draw remaining, so he bet again. So it goes 1-1-1 again. Josh bets and Baldy calls. So when Josh bets and Baldy calls, someone here is repping a Badugi here like almost 100% of the time. Like Josh could be theoretically bluffing here, but Baldy's overcalling basically means like I have a Badugi or like a 1-2-3. Like, or maybe a 1-2-4, but that's like it. There's not too many hands. And then Moxie calls, and Moxie has a 3-card 6. And I think this call is actually really bad. He's got to parlay into beating both hands, and that just seems like it just never happens. I don't think Baldy's ever calling here with a worse hand than I don't think he's ever calling here with a worse hand than a worse hand there than I don't know, a 3-card 5 maybe, a 3-card 4, the way that this action's kind of played out. So I think Moxie makes a mistake. All right, Badeucey 7-5-4-3-2 is the best low. 5-4-3-2 is the best Badugi. Aces play high and low. You notice that we do have this is one of the only combinations of hands here that we play with the 4-card flush. We're still calling here. We do improve to a 3 card to 2-4-7 with a 6 draw. And we improve to 2-3-4 with number 2 low. This becomes an easy raise now on the river. And we scoop against the 86. I think we also had the best 3 card too. It looked like he had a 3 card 8.
Esse Baldy didn't strike raise.
Yeah, this is the hand over here where Baldy check raised me, and then I'm thinking about it, but I blocked a lot of clubs, so it's definitely one of those spots where I would definitely should consider, I think, check raising. I am gonna fold the 1 card, draw the deuce. All right, 3, 5, 6. Dude, I can't remember if we started with Baducey or not. Excuse me. Do we start with stud? I can't remember what we started with. It's been a while. Okay. Against the limp and the overcall here, the 3 card 6 is going to be an open. It's going to be a raise, excuse me. And against that hand, against Josh, he had a 3 card 8. He did have a 3 card 8, so we were technically free rolling him, but his bet would have theoretically got us to maybe fold our hand there on the river if we bricked. Be hard to call with a 3 card 7, to be honest, if we like paired and didn't improve. We improved to a 9 low, but we still have a 3 card 6. We're still just going to check this one. 2-2-2-3 spot. Padding the 9-7 here, I think, would be a pretty big mistake, to be honest. You're just not the 9's like not going to hold up often enough, and plus we want to draw again and try to make a better Badugi. But I would assume that Baldy here has a pretty strong hand, or a Badugi here like pretty high frequency. It looks like we make a strong hand. Unfortunately, we do not make we make a strong hand, but we don't make the hand we want to make. 2, 3, yeah, we don't make it. We got the extra 6. So I'm gonna draw 1 more here. We have thrown a 7 away too. 2, 3, 5, 2, 3, 5. I'm just looking to make sure, because sometimes you do miss these things. We've seen a bunch of like little low cards here too. Yeah, catch an extra 3. And they're both pat. I mean, like, Baldy's kind of repping an 8-8. Now here's the question. Does the parlay of me calling here with the 2, 3, 5, does it ever win? I mean, my guess is Baldy's hand here is usually something like 8-8. Lima here could have something very similar, but given the fact that Lima has like not raised at any point, I would expect that he has a low with like a 3 card. How many clubs have we seen? 3. What's the pot size? So 12. Basically, I got to call 12 to win half. 5 to 1 effective. 60. I think I'm gonna make a tight. I'm gonna make a fold here. Baldy does have 8-8, and he gets scooped by a better 8-8. Interesting. All right. All right, the 2-8 here, we're going to fold. I cannot remember what we started with. I think it was something right around the well, we're almost at an hour. So what's the next game? Stud 8 or better? Well, we'll probably call it recording at Stud 8 or better. But yeah, if anyone, as always, has a that's a big hand by Josh there, the old 7-7. If anyone in the comments, questions or comments, put them down below. I will be happy to get back to you. My email's down there as well if you want to reach out. If you're looking to open a Phenom account, there's a link below. You can use code LMG at sign up as well. If you want to see me do some Twitch stuff, let me know. I might just do it anyways, but I'm thinking about it. And if you are looking for a 1-hour free review session with me, which is basically like 1 hour of coaching, Usually it's probably more than 1 hour coaching because you record up to 1 hour playing on Phenom. We'll go over it. It's probably almost worth 2 hours. So if you like up to that amount and review it with me, you can, send it in to me recorded. Just record 1 hour of yourself playing on Phenom, and I will happily go over it with you. See if we got anything else this last hand, and we'll call it. I am still perplexed. What was the first game we played? Was it? I think it was stud 8 or better. If I skip stud 8, I'm sorry. 2 pat 2. Oh, probably taking 2 here. Now Baldy here, theoretically, if he makes a really strong Badugi, could theoretically trap here. But looks like he's taking 2 anyway, so it doesn't really change too much. And this is actually, he's showing, this is kind of interesting. He's showing this last hand over here where I'm tanking. Yeah, I had a lot of blockers in that one, Mr. Baldy. Yeah, it's definitely hard to make those laydowns, especially when you see the blockers. But, you know, it's hard. I wish I could actually go over some of the PGT stuff, but I'm pretty sure it's under copyright. I might ask, because there's a couple hands that I think are worth definitely wild to discuss. But besides that, as always, guys, please like, subscribe, do what you got to do. I will talk to each and every one of you soon, hopefully. Good luck at the tables. Play well. Bye-bye.